Rockaway train entering the Brooklyn Terminal, Atlantic Terminal, this morning on track 6, which is the southernmost track. And as the train approached the bumping block, it struck the bumping block, went up and over the bumping block. The lead truck is derailed, and one more other axle is derailed. We had a number of people injured on the train. They've all been transported to hospitals or released. That's the facts of the matter as we have them right now. The incident is still under investigation, as we always say. We need to make sure we determine what happened and why it happened, so the matter is still under investigation.
Thank you. As you heard from the chairman, from the appearance of the accident, the train came in and hit the so-called bumping block, which is the block which is at the far end, and went by it for a few feet. First concern is the people who are on the train. There were a number of minor injuries. We believe the worst injury at this time that we've heard of is a possible broken leg. So that's what we're monitoring at this time in terms of injuries. But a broken leg is not good, but we've been through situations where we've had worse. So we'll keep an eye on that. What happened with the operator, we don't know, and obviously there'll be an investigation to find out exactly what happened and why the operator didn't stop the train before it hit the bumping block. But that's where we are at this time. The response to the accident was fantastic, and I want to thank all the first responders, the MTA, the NYPD, the fire department, because they really did a great job of getting on site. Most of the injury were people who just walked and left the train. That's why the number of people who are injured is hard to pinpoint, because many of the people just walked off the train. They were minor injuries. Basically what happened is they were standing, they were getting ready to get off the train. The train has a sudden stop. They're not prepared for the sudden stop. They get knocked around, banged around, they hurt an arm, they hurt a leg, etc. And that's what we're referring to as the minor injuries, and that's why that number is hard to pinpoint. The most significant injury is a possible broken leg. That's a woman who's been transported to the hospital, and we'll see how that goes during the course of the day.
Tom, any indication of speed? Any indication of the speed of the train?
It's too early to tell. Obviously, the train is supposed to stop short of the bumping block. It did not do that, so that's one of the things we'll look at. It's one of the factors that we will look at in the investigation.
Tom, was there any damage done to the station?
There's some damage done to some partition panels, the bumping block, obviously, things of that nature. We should be okay for the afternoon rush hour. We expect to have normal service out of here because we have 5 tracks, so we do not anticipate any delays for this afternoon's rush hour.
Tom, as a general matter, there are people who still remember the Hoboken incident from a few weeks ago who might be wondering, is there anything infrastructure-wise that's contributing to an increase in derailments, or is this sort of just something that happens occasionally?
It's too early to tell, and we really need to let the investigation lead us to where we need to be. But obviously, the train's supposed to stop short of the bumping block.
Have you talked to the conductor? Interview the train operator?
They're being held, and they will be interviewed as part of the locomotive engineer, the conductor, and the brakeman will all be interviewed.
In terms of the infrastructure, it is, as the chairman said, it's fairly simple. The track ends in the terminal. There's a bumping block at the end of the terminal. The train has to stop before it hits the bumping block, and the bumping block is just there as a precaution. Hoboken was a much worse situation. I was in Hoboken. And obviously it was worse, not just in terms of injuries. We had a loss of life in Hoboken, but there was extensive damage in Hoboken. And that train was coming in much faster, did much more damage, hurt many more people. This is minor compared to what happened in Hoboken. But the same question, why did the operator not stop the train before it hit the block?
Are there any safeguards on the train to keep it from hitting the bumping block, or do you rely on the operator to hit the brakes?
Once you're at that point and you're at that speed, it's primarily the locomotive engineer's responsibility to control the train. There's a signal system that controls it coming in at limited speeds, but when you're getting to the end, it's the locomotive engineer's responsibility, and the train's brakes have to work. All of those things have to be looked at in the investigation.
Are there inward-facing cameras?
Haven't heard from yet, but the FRA administrator was notified.
So what speed is it? What speed is the train supposed to be going before it hits
I don't
that
know
block?
the exact speed, but there's a book of rules speed, probably less than 15 or 10 miles an hour. And proceed at a speed not to exceed that which you can stop within half your rate of vision.
And what-
These are standard rules that railroads live by.
Do we know if there's cameras, inward-facing cameras?
We're installing it. I don't know if the entire fleet has had it. I didn't know if this car had them, if this cab had it.
When did the train leave?
Pardon me?
When did the train leave?
I don't know the interval, but it was a Far Rockaway train that came in from Far Rockaway and comes into Atlantic Terminal. One truck and one axle. That's all that's derailed.
Yeah,
Did you
I
put
wouldn't
your eyes on it?
Derailment is actually somewhat of a misnomer here. It's not that it derailed. The train hit the bumping block. When it hit the bumping block basically knocked it off the track. So it wasn't really a derailment. It was a train that didn't stop when it was supposed to, hit the bumping block at a fairly low rate of speed. The chairman is obviously correct. You don't know what the rate of speed is, but it was a fairly low rate of speed. It hit the block, and it was actually the bottom assembly, the truck assembly, came off when it hit the block. So it wasn't really a derailment. There are accidents that happen, right? This is a very large system. You are operating literally hundreds and hundreds of trains every morning with thousands and thousands of people. Accidents happen. We have been through a number of them over the past few years. Many of them, frankly, we were not this lucky. This is a relatively minor accident, luckily. And we'll check on the woman who we think may have had a broken leg on her, and we wish her the best, and we'll check on her later. But as all things considered, this was a relatively minor accident. And as the chairman said, service will be up and running this afternoon, which is a good thing. And again, I can't tell you how extraordinary the first responders are. And the MTA police, the MTA responders, the New York Police Department, the FDNY, they really did a magnificent job. And all New Yorkers owe them a debt of gratitude. Thank you very much.